Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're grabbing a whole stack of sources, articles, research, expert takes, and boiling it all down for you.
Yep.
We're diving into the world of daily spiritual affirmations. We want to get past just definitions.
Right.
We're looking at whether they're, magic, maybe science, or some mix, and how you can actually use them effectively without falling into the common traps.
Exactly. Our mission today is really to go beyond that surface level. We're looking at how they work, the mechanisms, where they're used, and crucially, some critical viewpoints too. It's about giving you that shortcut so you're genuinely clued in on this topic.
It's often
pretty misunderstood.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And you might find some surprising things along the way.
Definitely.
You'll leave this with some really practical stuff, whether you want to try affirmations or just understand them better. Okay, let's unpack this. So affirmations, we probably all heard of them, those positive statements, right?
Yep.
At its most basic, an affirmation is just a positive phrase. You use it to challenge, those negative thoughts that get stuck.
Right, the unhelpful one.
Exactly. Psychologically, the idea is it's a catalyst, for positive change, boosting motivation, maybe cutting stress, building self-esteem by fighting that inner critic.
And it's not just about, wishing it were true.
No, that's the interesting bit. It's the repetition. It's almost like you're carving new paths in your brain, literally. So those old negative loops just sort of fade.
Physical rewiring, not just mental.
Precisely.
And that leads us to spiritual affirmations, which are a bit different. While, all affirmations aim for positivity, the spiritual kind go deeper. They're reaching for meaning, for purpose.
How so?
Well, the focus is really on connection. Connection to the universe, maybe a divine source, or, just your own inner spiritual truth, the objective. Things like inner peace, getting clear on your purpose, feeling aligned with higher truths.
Can you give an example?
Sure, I am in harmony with the flow of the universe. Or maybe, I trust that every challenge I face is a lesson for my soul's growth. See the difference?
Yeah, definitely broader, more existential.
Kind of. And then there's this other angle, the metaphysical one. From that viewpoint, an affirmation isn't really about creating a belief.
Okay.
It's more like stating something that's already universally true, with a capital T. It's like your mind saying yes to that truth, clearing away the fog, the false ideas, hiding what's already there.
Interesting. So like Paramhansa Yogananda said, believe you're already prosperous if you want prosperity.
Exactly. And then it manifests. The belief doesn't create it. It just lets that inherent reality sort of shine through.
So these aren't opposing ideas, the psychological and the metaphysical.
Not necessarily. Think of it as a spectrum of intention. You might use I am confident as a cognitive tool, like building brain pathways.
Right.
Or you might use I am a reflection of the divine to realize something you feel is inherently true. But the common thread, really, for all affirmations, it's integration.
Integration.
Yeah, moving an idea from your conscious thought, that active thinking part, into your subconscious, the automatic part. And that relies on, repetition, feeling it emotionally, and being receptive like first thing in the morning or just before you.
So, okay, definition sorted. But this is where it gets really interesting for me. How do these simple sounding statements actually change things inside us? What does the science say?
Right, and this isn't just wishful thinking. There's actual psychological science here. Take Claude Steele's self-affirmation theory back in '88.
Okay.
His idea is that we humans have this fundamental need to see ourselves as, good, moral, competent, flexible, maintain our self-integrity.
Makes sense.
So when something threatens that positive self-view, it causes stress. But here's the cool part. Affirming your core values, like, say, your relationships or your creativity, acts like a buffer. A psychological shield.
A buffer against threats, even if the threat is in a totally different area.
Exactly. That's the key. Yep. It makes you less defensive, more resilient overall. The power comes from connecting to things that are genuinely, authentically important to you, your core values.
Okay, so that's the big picture psychology. How does this fit with something like, say, CBT? Cognitive behavioral therapy. Many people know about that.
Oh, it fits perfectly. You know the CBT model, catch it, check it, change it, for negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, affirmations are basically a tool for the change it step, a direct method to turn positive self-talk into a new automatic habit. It's not about denying reality, remember. It's about choosing a more empowering lens to view it through.
And underlying all this is neuroplasticity, right? The brain changing itself.
Precisely. That whole neurons that fire together, wire together, thing.
How does that actually work with affirmations?
Well, every time you repeat an affirmation, you're firing up a specific neural circuit.
Yeah.
Keep doing it, and the connections between those neurons get stronger, faster, more efficient.
Like building a muscle.
Kind of. And at the same time, those old negative pathways you're not using, they start to weaken. It's called synaptic pruning. Your brain literally trims away the unused connections, making space for the new positive ones.
Wow. So our thoughts are physically sculpting our brains. Can we actually see this happening with brain scans?
We can. And it's pretty compelling. fMRI studies show that self-affirmation lights up specific brain areas, like the bits involved in processing information about yourself, valuing things, the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, for example.
Okay.
And activity there actually predicts positive changes in behavior later on. We also see activation in the brain's reward system, the ventral striatum, which is tied to motivation, feeling good.
So it feels rewarding to affirm positive things.
Apparently so, at a neural level. And some research even suggests affirmations can dial down activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, which helps build emotional resilience. It becomes this amazing biofeedback loop.
Explain that loop.
Okay, you affirm something, best specific brain areas activate, you get a positive feeling or motivation, you act in line with the affirmation, you get real-world reinforcement, which strengthens the whole cycle, that feeling it part. It's not just fluff. It's actually engaging these key brain regions.
And this even impacts our body chemistry, right? Hormones and stuff.
Absolutely. Positive thoughts, anticipating rewards that can stimulate dopamine release, motivation, pleasure.
Yeah.
It can also boost serotonin, mood regulation. And importantly, studies show it can lower cortisol, the main stress hormone. So yeah, it's contributing to your overall health, not just your mindset.
Okay, so we've got the what and the how, but where did this practice actually come from? It feels quite modern, but maybe it's not.
You're right, it has much older roots.
Oh.
While the self-help versions feel new, the core idea using repeated phrases to shift consciousness is ancient. Think Eastern traditions like Hinduism and Buddhism. Exactly, mantras. The Sanskrit word mantra literally means something like a tool to liberate the mind. Which sounds pretty similar to affirmations, doesn't it? Freeing the mind from negative patterns.
Yeah, it does. But are they the same thing?
Not quite. There's a key difference in where the power is thought to come from. With mantras, often the power is in the sound, the vibration itself, like chanting Om.
Right.
The idea is that sound attunes you to something universal, maybe bypassing your thinking mind entirely. The goal is often to dissolve the ego, the sense of individual self.
Whereas affirmations...
Affirmations get their power from personal meaning and your belief in the words. They're usually in your own language. And often the goal is actually to strengthen the individual self, like, I am worthy, I am capable. Two different paths, really.
Okay, so how did we get from ancient mantras to the kind of affirmations we see today, especially in the West?
Well, the more direct line for modern spiritual affirmations traces back to the New Thought movement. Late 19th century U.S. thinkers like Phineas Quimby, Ralph Waldo Emerson, they talked about affirmative prayer. It was about declaring a positive outcome as if it were already real, based on what they saw as universal spiritual laws.
That sounds a lot like the law of attraction stuff.
Exactly. It definitely laid the groundwork for it. The law of attraction, made huge by things like The Secret, is based on that like attracts like idea.
And affirmations are the tool.
They're a primary tool, yeah. Used to align your vibration with what you desire to manifest it. You can see a bit of a shift there, maybe, from aligning with, say, a divine mind to a more mechanistic process for getting personal goals met.
Interesting shift. Now, what about established religions? How does something like Christianity view affirmations? Because you hear different things.
You do. It's complex. On one hand, some proponents point to Scripture. Philippians 4.8, for instance. Think about whatever is true, honorable, pure. They see that as a call for positive thinking.
So using Bible verses as affirmations.
Right. Affirming God's promises like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But there are strong objections, too, from many theologians.
What are the main concerns?
Several big ones. First, the focus can seem very self-centric. I am, I can, I achieve. Critics argue that kandake can border on idolatry, putting the self before God, whereas Christian prayer emphasizes surrender, thy will be done.
Okay, focus on self versus God. What else?
Second, the whole manifestation idea can sound like trying to manipulate God or a divine force, which contrasts sharply with the Christian ideal of submission and trust in God's plan.
Right, manipulation versus surrender.
And third, there's concern about taking Scripture out of context. using verses like self-help slogans, instead of engaging with them for deeper spiritual transformation to become more like Christ. It highlights this fundamental difference. Are you reinforcing what you want to believe, or are you transforming your beliefs to align with God's will?
That's a profound distinction. So if we compare them quickly, affirmations versus prayer versus mantras.
Okay, quick take. Affirmations are a deliberate practice, often focused on self-transformation, powered by personal meaning and belief. Mantras use sound vibration, often to liberate or transcend the mind ego. Prayer is relational, communication with the divine, emphasizing surrender and often seeking external help or alignment. Different tools, different goals, different perceived sources of power.
That really clarifies the landscape. Okay, let's get practical. For listeners thinking, all right, maybe I want to try this, how do you actually make them work? Where do you start?
Right, the how-to, it really starts with some honest self-reflection. What are your core values? What do you genuinely want to cultivate or change? Because the effectiveness isn't random. There are principles.
Okay, what are they?
First, present tense. Always. Frame it like it's happening now. I am confident, not I will be. It tells your brain this is current reality.
Got it, present tense.
Second, positive framing. Focus on what you do want, not what you don't. So, I am calm and centered is way better than I won't feel anxious. Your subconscious doesn't really process negatives well.
Focus on the positive outcome. Makes sense.
Third, inject emotion. Use words that feel vibrant, that resonate with you. I radiate joy. My heart is filled with gratitude. The feeling is key for making it stick.
Feel it, don't just say it.
Exactly. Fourth, and this is crucial, make it believable. If it's too big a leap, like I am a billionaire, when you're broke, your mind just rejects it. It creates dissonance.
So what do you do then?
Use bridging phrases, like instead of I love my body, if you really don't right now, maybe try I am learning to appreciate my body, or I am open to loving my body. It bridges the gap.
Ah, okay. Gentler approach.
Yeah. And finally, specificity. Vague affirmations are less effective. Instead of just, I am healthy, maybe try, I nourish my body with healthy choices and I listen to its needs. It gives your subconscious clearer instructions.
Okay, those are great crafting tips. Once you have your affirmation, what about actually using it? Are there different methods?
Oh yeah, lots of ways. The simplest is just daily repetition. Pick one, say it morning and night, maybe throughout the day.
Keep it simple.
Or you can get more structured. There's the 3-33 method, say it three times a day for 3 days, a quick intensive burst.
Okay.
Then there's the 55-by-5 method. This one involves writing. You write your affirmation down 55 times in a row for 5 days straight.
Wow, that's dedication. Writing it down probably helps embed it too.
It engages different parts of the brain, definitely. And one from Yogananda is graduated repetition. You start saying it out loud, then get quieter, down to a whisper, then just mentally, silently. The idea is to carry the meaning deeper into the subconscious.
Interesting layering technique. How do you weave these into a busy life?
Good question. Timing matters. First thing in the morning and last thing at night are often best condemna. The conscious mind is quieter, brain's more receptive.
Makes sense.
Rituals help too, like mirror work, actually looking yourself in the eye while you say it. Sounds maybe cheesy, but it can be powerful.
Facing yourself.
Yeah. Journaling them, as we mentioned. Using visual cues, sticky notes, phone wallpaper, or even auditory cues. Record yourself saying them and listen back.
Lots of options.
And don't forget synergy. Combine affirmations with meditation or visualization. Picture the affirmed reality as vividly as you can while you repeat the words. That really amps up the effect. You can even find lists or books of affirmations themed around specific goals, gratitude, healing, self-love, whatever you're working on.
Okay, this all sounds really positive, almost like a guaranteed path to improvement, but is there a catch? Can affirmations ever, backfire?
That is such an important question, and yes, absolutely. It's not a magic bullet, and sometimes they don't work, or can even make things worse.
How so?
Well, research shows that for people with already low self-esteem, saying super positive affirmations like, I am completely lovable and amazing, can actually deepen their negative feelings.
Wait, make them feel worse. Why?
Cognitive dissonance again. If your core belief is, I'm not good enough, hearing this huge opposing statement feels like a lie. Your brain basically goes, nope, that's not true. And it can end up reinforcing the original negative belief because the gap feels so large and unbelievable.
Wow, okay. So if someone feels that happening, if saying, I am totally confident, just makes them feel less confident, what should they do?
That's where those bridging affirmations come in again. Or using more neutral, process-oriented statements. Instead of, I am completely confident, maybe, I am working on building my confidence.
Right.
Or instead of, I love myself unconditionally, maybe I am willing to consider accepting myself. It acknowledges where you are now and gently guides change without triggering that massive internal resistance.
That makes a lot of sense. What about this idea of toxic positivity? I hear that term a lot. How do affirmations fit in there?
Right, toxic positivity, it's that pressure to always be positive, to suppress or deny any negative emotions like sadness, anger, fear, as if those feelings are wrong or a sign of failure.
Yeah, the good vibes only mentality.
Exactly. And affirmations can absolutely be misused that way, repeating everything is perfect when you're actually grieving or really struggling. That's not healing, that's repression. It's using positivity as a shield against reality.
So how do you tell the difference between healthy use and that kind of suppression?
Healthy integration acknowledges the whole picture. So instead of a toxic, failure isn't real, I only succeed, affirmation after a setback, a healthy one might be, okay, this setback hurts, and that's valid. But it's also a chance to learn, I am resilient and I can navigate this. See? It allows the difficult feeling while affirming your strength to handle it.
Acknowledging the pain, but not getting stuck in it.
Precisely. It honors the full human experience.
And then there's spiritual bypassing. Is that related?
Very related. Spiritual bypassing, John Welwood coined the term, is basically using spiritual ideas or practices, including affirmations, to avoid dealing with difficult emotional stuff or psychological wounds.
So using I am pure love and light to avoid feeling anger or dealing with past trauma.
Exactly. It's creating this kind of idealized spiritual self-image, a compensatory identity that sort of floats above the messy reality of your unresolved issues. It feels good temporarily, maybe, but it's an avoidance tactic.
And the danger there is?
The danger is huge, actually. It doesn't heal anything. The wounds are still there, festering under the surface. You end up with a fragmented self, your spiritual persona disconnected from your real emotional life. And that's suppressed energy. It tends to come out sideways, often harmfully. Real growth means moving through the hard stuff with awareness and compassion, not trying to spiritually fly over it.
Okay, so taking all that into account, the potential, the science, but also the pitfalls, what does a truly healthy, integrated affirmation practice look like for you, the listener?
I think the key is balance. Balancing affirmation with action and, really importantly, self-compassion.
Action and self-compassion. Tell me more.
Well, affirmations are great catalysts. They shift your mindset, boost motivation. But they aren't the change itself. You still need to take congruent action in the real world. The affirmation, I am a confident speaker, needs to be backed up by, actually practicing speaking.
Right. They support action. They don't replace it.
Exactly. And the self-compassion part. True self-worth isn't about pretending you're perfect. It's about accepting all of yourself, the good, the bad, the messy. So practice affirmations with kindness toward yourself, especially on days when it feels hard to believe them. Use those bridging statements if you need to. Be gentle.
It sounds like it requires a good deal of self-honesty.
Radical honesty, I'd say.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to ask yourself, am I using this affirmation to genuinely grow and integrate parts of myself? Or am I using it to numb out, to avoid feeling something difficult? The goal should always be integration, bringing your psychological and spiritual worlds together for a more whole, authentic self.
Which leads to a really crucial final point, right? The limits of self-help.
Absolutely critical. Affirmations are a tool. They are not a replacement for professional mental health treatment if you're dealing with serious issues like deep trauma, clinical anxiety, or depression.
They can be part of the toolkit, maybe?
They can be a supportive adjunct, yes. Used carefully, maybe alongside therapy. But if affirmations consistently make you feel worse, if that gap between the statement and your reality feels just overwhelmingly huge, or if you recognize you're using them to bypass significant pain, that's a massive red flag. That's when professional guidance isn't just helpful, it's necessary. #outro.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, from basic definitions through the brain science, the history, the practical how-tos, and then these really vital, critical perspectives and pitfalls. It's been quite the journey.
It really has, and it leaves us with a question, maybe, for you to think about.
Go on.
How can you take these insights, the power and the potential problems, and weave them into your own life? How can you foster genuine growth, accepting your whole self, flaws and all, while still reading for, those higher truths or better versions of yourself?
That's a great question to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.